What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. I am pretty excited. Got to get out of the house today. Just enjoying the Pacific Northwest. Wanted to come outside, brought some knives, decided to make a little bit of content while I was out here. Yeah, and I just picked up a sweet knife from Stevie at lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and share this with y'all. But before we do, I just kind of wanted to, it's amazing to be able to get outside like this and enjoy. You can probably hear the river right next to me. You've got the rushing water, you've got the creek, and it's just amazing to be able to sit here and get outside and have some fresh air. And I love that about this part of the country. And so I'm just wanted to share that with y'all. But you don't care. Let's head to the top down. All right, so before we get too far, I want to go ahead and say thank you to anybody who's already liked and subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. You can also follow us on Instagram at WorkKnifeBalance939. That's the best way to communicate with us. We're not super active, but if you want to chat, that is how we can talk with you. You can let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, all that good jazz. Let's go ahead and head into this. Is a unboxing video. We'll do a size comparison and measurements. There goes a car on the desk once we get back to the house in a day or two. But this is going to be a new Katua carbon knife, and this is going to be a new Ken Onion design BuckHorn. Absolutely loving this thing. This is the BuckHorn designed by Ken Onion, blade steel 6 S35 VN. This is a fantastic knife. I don't know a ton about the knife. Obviously there's the specs right there, but I just kind of glanced through it. Yeah, this thing is pretty awesome. I took it out and held it real quick earlier, and I will say the first thing that I got is the action on this thing is fantastic. Katua is doing a really nice job with how they're doing their fit and finish on these knives. But the contouring that they did to this knife right here is pretty fantastic. You can see it's not just a single contour over one way, but it's contoured this direction. It also has some contouring this direction as it's narrow and then up and down. The way it fits in your hand, because of that, the ergonomics on this knife are amazing. It is really well done, and I really like the knife. The extra little details that they put into this knife, I think, is what makes me drawn to this thing so much. The action on it is snappy. You've got a really nice snappy action on it. You've got a really good flipper. You can also get on those thumb studs, which are actually the stop point. As you can see, they lock in up top here, and you can do a good thumb flick. You can reverse flick off those thumb studs as well too, and it feels fantastic. It has a really nice, almost like a sheep drop, a drop foot. I don't know. You have kind of this sheep's footy look to the drop point blade as it comes down here. It's not quite as pointy stabby as you would imagine because it has that little rounded over edge, and it looks good. It's really well done, and it feels fantastic. This swedge at the top is nice. You've got just enough jimping here. I would love to see, and I really like this as a personal preference, a lot of the knives that are putting jimping up here for those kind of like detail work that you could be doing. I would really love to see some of that on this knife. I think it just add a little extra. But all the other extra that they threw into this knife is fantastic. You have a really nice clip right here. I don't think you can reverse the clip because even though there's a spot here, the clip would bend out this direction and it wouldn't necessarily be designed for it that way. So this is not an ambidextrous clip. It only sits on the one side. You have a really nice lanyard hole right here that you can put something through. And then if we look at the milling that is done on this knife, you can see kind of this cuboid texture right here, this three-dimensional cube texture milling that's done here, and then on the small part of the clip as well. And then you've got these milled lines through the contoured part of the blade right here that go in perpendicular with the blade, and it feels really good in hand. And then you've got those three little speed holes. Don't know what those speed holes are for. They look nice. Could have done without them, but overall I think it's done really well. I really like the thumb studs. as well as they did the kind of like lined milling on the thumb studs that they put through there. So that was done. And then I don't know if this was done on purpose, but it's called the BuckHorn. And this to me looks like the backside of buckshot for a shotgun. This is kind of like a shell casing right there. You've got some numbering, says BuckHorn on it. That's what it looks like to me. I'm not sure if that's what the design was going for with Ken Onion, what he was thinking when he did that, but that's what it looks like to me. You have a really nice high back spacer as well with a little bit of jimping, just kind of like paper thin jimping going through the top right here. And then the only real banding you see is the carbon right there, because the blade is super clean. The blade is just super clean on both sides. BuckHorn on the pivot, which is the name of the knife, carbon on the back, and other than that, there's really no banding, billboarding anywhere, and I really, really like that. They did hide S35VN right in here on the choil. Hopefully that's zooming in there and you can see that. Yeah, there we go. S35VN hidden right there on the choil part, which was a nice choice to hide it in there. I thought that was pretty cool. It is kind of a full-size knife. It gives you a really good fit and feel to it. It's just a frame lock. I'm going to assume this is a titanium frame lock knife as it comes through. Really nice titanium frame lock knife as it comes through with that S35VN. Yeah, I don't know what the price on this is. If I were to guess, if I were to say what I'd pay for this knife, comfortably, I'd pay around 200 bucks for this knife. I don't know where it's coming in at. This could be a $500 knife. It could be a $60 knife. It's most likely not 60 and it's most likely not 500, but on the follow-up video, we will have kind of a little bit more on the price when we do overall size and comparisons to other knives as well. That's my first impressions on this BuckHorn, and I was really excited to see it, and I don't think I was necessarily let down by this knife at all. It does kind of have a dagger feel to it, a dagger look to it as I'm looking at it here in my hand. But yeah, I really like this thing. I don't think it'll join my collection. I would love for it to join my collection, but I'm trying to be a little bit more picky. And it hits all the right buttons, but I'm skeptical for some reason on whether or not to pull it in. Oh, look at that. You've got a really nice arch that covers in on both sides, and it covers, kind of encases that blade beautifully. That is really well done, the way that those lines match up perfectly like that. That is cool. This is a really well done knife. I really, really like it. That was actually a little sharp up top there. That's a little sharp on those points right there. But not like painful. It's just, you can definitely feel that it's not anything bad, but I guess you kind of have to keep them pretty proud out the top like that, so it definitely sits in and covers those stop pins as it comes over like that. So there's the actual stop pin in there. That's just the resting place, I guess, for those. You could kind of shave those off a little bit, and then you've still got the stop pin in there that it clips into. Yeah, that might be the one gripe, is shave those down a little bit, because that is kind of sharp and kind of, you can definitely feel it, but it's not bad by any means. So yeah, this is the Katua or carbon BuckHorn. Absolutely loving this knife. We will do another video on it. That's all I've got for now, so until next time, TTFN.